Utsaha is enthusiasm. And Prabhupada says, why? Somebody may ask, oh, why to be enthusiastic? Is this what to speak of spiritual life? Even in material life, if one wants to be successful, he has to be actually enthusiastic. So everyone needs to be enthusiastic about whatever they are trying to do. And the best thing to do is devotional service. So for that, how much enthusiastic we should be, because it is so rare, it is giving liberation and it is giving love of Godhead. It is such a rare thing. So then how much more enthusiastic a person should be to practice. And in the same relation, in the same topic, he explains what is Utsaha. He writes another axiom. He says, endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called as Utsaha. What is enthusiasm? Enthusiasm, as we discussed, if you consider it as an attitude, then it should be shown as a favorable endeavor executed with intelligence. It should not be just sentimental, it should be considered intelligently. And for whom? In Krishna consciousness, for the pleasure of Krishna and the devotees. So endeavors executed with intelligence in the realm of Krishna consciousness is called as enthusiasm or utsaha. So this is the definition that Srila Prabhupada gives. I'm repeating. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called as utsaha. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, if without enthusiasm, what will happen is one will become negligent in his devotional service. If he is not very enthusiastic, oh, like today I'm not feeling so thing about chant, so let me not chant. So he will just not, he'll become neglectful in devotion service, and that will cause offense. So when there is enthusiasm, one can naturally overcome laziness and inertia, which are the causes for inactivity. And he says karma arises from lust to possess many things, jnana arises from indifference, and bhakti arises from faith in the Supreme Lord. Kelly, can I just complete this slide and take your question?
Yeah, I just put it up so I will remember to ask the question.
Sure. I'll just complete this and then I'll take your question. So he says inattentiveness in chanting can be overcome with enthusiasm and devotion service. If I really want to, if I like really think, okay, I need to chant attentively, it's not an alternate. It's not like, okay, maybe all those things. I want to chant attentively and I put the effort. So that is enthusiasm. I take active steps to be attentive in my chanting. So that is a sign of enthusiasm. And he says if somebody is really enthusiastic in devotion service, they can grow from the stage of anishtita to nishta bhajan. Means unsteady devotion service to steady devotional service. The key to going from unsteady practice to steady practice is enthusiasm. And he says if somebody is so unenthusiastic after coming to devotion service, then that lack of enthusiasm can destroy their devotional service, because they are so indifferent. They will surround themselves with distractions, and those distractions can make them deviate. And he says, and utsaha, the word utsaha can mean enthusiasm, or it can mean to cultivate devotional service with care and respect. I really care for my devotional service, so I diligently engage in it. So that is actually a sign of enthusiasm. So this is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, faith without enthusiasm has no meaning. He says, the word Shraddha is certainly faith. But I say that I have so much faith, but enthusiasm, I don't have enthusiasm in executing devotion service. He says, then it does not have so much meaning, because enthusiasm is the life of faith. So many people think they have faith in God, but because they have no enthusiasm, their faith has no meaning. So therefore, due to lack of sadhu sangha, they do not perform devotional service. Out in the world, like in a society like Indian society, if you go, so many people feel they actually love Krishna and they have faith and they have certain kind of love towards Krishna also. They worship and so many things. But because they lack sadhu sangha, they lack proper association, they do not perform devotional service. And so that is why their faith actually does not translate into a lot, because there is no enthusiasm in performing devotional service, because they lack sadhu sangha. So that the indirect meaning is, if we really have enthusiasm, we will keep ourselves in devotional association, which inspires us to perform more devotional service. That's a real sign of enthusiasm. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur on this topic, Utsaha or enthusiasm, he says, Indifference to the process of Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, or Karma Kanda, it's actually a sign of enthusiasm for devotion service, because I'm so focused and so absorbed in devotion service. I don't have time for anything else. I don't have time to spend anything to do with Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, or Karma Kanda. I just have lost all inclination to involve myself in those activities. That means I actually have developed some attachment to devotion service. And this is a sign, he says, enthusiastic about the practice of various limbs of sadhana bhakti, like hearing about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, remembering Krishna, being enthusiastic about those practices indirectly. How that first line manifests in bhakti is, because I don't have any attraction to other process, I'm involving all my time in devotional service. And because I'm involving all my time in devotion service, I don't have any interest in other things. Internal and external perseverance in practicing bhakti. See, we all discussed about not having enthusiasm, but here he is saying internal and external perseverance, both, is actually a sign of enthusiasm. I may not be so naturally attracted to Krishna, but I know this is the right thing to do and I push myself to do. So internally and externally. So that is also considered enthusiasm. These are Srila Prabhupada's quotes. I really did not think that it's going to take so much time, so I prepared elaborately, but now I feel like I should just stick to the book. It's already 3:20. We haven't completed one quality also. Srila Prabhupada says, let me drag my screen so I can read this. Yeah, Prabhupada says, if you're actually chanting Hare Krishna, you'll be enthusiastic. So he will say, you feel like, oh, now I'm chanting nicely, I want to serve, I shall serve. That is the effect. Phalena parichiyate means by the fruit, one's activities will be judged. If I'm really chanting nicely, then I'll be enthusiastic. So we have to see by the result. He should be enthusiastic more and more. If someone feels they're chanting nicely, they'll be naturally enthusiastic. He says, Anandam Buddhivardhanam. It increases one's enthusiasm and happiness. The service attitude towards Krishna and devotees will increase. So this is a letter that Srila Prabhupada wrote. He says, determination means enthusiasm or utsaha. He says, how do you see utsaha externally? Enthusiasm, determination. That I will not deter in doing these activities. So that's a sign of enthusiasm. Prabhupada says, I must chant, I must hear. So he says that is necessary. Not that when Krishna is merciful and he wants me to perform devotion service, I'll do. Many people in India, you invite them, please come to temple. He said, whenever the Lord desires, whenever the Lord calls me, I'll come. Hey, Lord is not going to come and call you. He's calling through his devotees. So come. So now they will not, they'll say, oh, whenever the Lord calls me, I'll come. So that's actually not a sign of enthusiasm. So Krishna is already merciful, but if we do not take it, then what Krishna will do? So Krishna does not touch on your little individuality or little independence. So therefore, we have to push ourselves. Just like when we earn money, we are very enthusiastic. Similarly, if we want Krishna consciousness, if we want to earn that position, go back home, back to Godhead, we must be very enthusiastic, Utsahan.